we will have with us Maple who is the product solution manager at JinkoSolar. And as you probably know, TOPCon has has come big in a very short time, and yeah, it's basically now the new normal. And one company actually that helped this to happen so fast was Jinko, who really put a lot of emphasis and energy into building up TOPCon capacities very early on. And Maple will talk to us about the first experience with TOPCon in PV power plants. Maple, the floor is yours.
Hi, hello. Thanks for your kindly introduction. So let me open my camera. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So hello everyone, good morning. This is the Maple Hu from the Jinko Technical Service Centers. And today I'm going to give you a general overview of the TOPCon performance in solar power plant. So before I start my presentation, maybe some of you don't know the Jinko very well. So let me briefly introduce my company first. There are the key numbers of my companies. We have been the world #1 in shipment from the 2016 and to the 2019, and surpassed the 150 gigawatts in the first quarters of the 2023. Meanwhile, we are the first module manufacturers in the world to surpass these capacities, and our cell efficiencies has broken the 22 world record. And our module production capacities will reach the 90 gigawatts by end of the 2023. 55 gigawatts is totally for the TOPCon production capacities. And our global market share in 2022 will be 50%, which and this is the average share. And in the European and the Australian, our share will be a little bit higher. So let's return to today's topics. First, I would like to give you some rough introduction of the value for the PV purchase with the two standards. The LCOE is the levelized cost of the energies, and it means the project cost is the lowest. The lower of the LCOE means the lowers the project cost, and IRR means the internal rate of the return. So the IRR is higher, the greater project revenues. So in the futures, the goal of the product is to reduce the LCOE and increase the IRR. Untapped module TOPCon is the representative compared to the PERC modules. Is the cell efficiency is higher, so with the same size of the modules, it can create the more power generation, thus reduce the cost of the both. And what is the both? It is the balance of the system, which is referred to the cost of the design, construction, and other system product except modules. And at the same time, several characteristics of untapped module itself can also increase the power generation, thus improving IRR. So next part, I will introduce the advantage of the untapped module. The first one is the lower degradation. Compared to the 2% first year degradation and the 0.45% linear degradation of the P-type module, the TOPCon modules are able to reduce the first-year degradation less than 1%, while the linear degradation is only 0.4%. What does that mean? So in this case, taking the 30 years as the operating life of the power plant, the untapped modules can guarantee that after 30 years, the output powers will not be lower than 87.4% of the orange's output powers, while the P-type modules will only have an output powers of the 84.8% at 25 years. And the second advantage is the temperatures coefficients. So for the output power decrease, the temperatures when the temperatures increase, the output power will decrease. So lowers the module's temperatures as well as optimizing the temperature coefficients can provide the module with the more power generation in hot areas. Currently, the temperature coefficient of the PERC module is kept at 0.35% per degree, while the Jinko untapped TOPCon modules can optimize this temperature coefficient to the 0.29% per degree. From these tables, you can see when the temperature coefficient is the 0.35 and the power loss is around 4.85%, while the temperature coefficient is 0.29 and the power loss is only the 3.95%. And for this, the table is the actual NP modules working temperatures. You can see for the right line is represent for the untapped modules, and this value is usually lower than the P-type modules. So we also make some calculation, and for the test record, you can see with the same environment, the average data operating of the untapped module, temperature is lower than the P-type module around 1 degree. And for the untapped modules, in this case, can increase the power generation about 2% compared to the P-type module in high temperature environments. So for the third one is the improvement of the bifacial rate. At present, the most of the P-type bifacial modules, their bifacial rate is around 65% to the 75%, while the untapped module is between the 75 to the 85. So let's take a look at this side of the formula. So you can see that the power depends on the bifacial rate as well as the BSI. And BSI it depends on the actual irradiation and the ground reflection. So in this for these calculation modules, we set 0.135 as BSI. And when the bifacial rate is choose the average per modules, which is the 70%, the power generation of the bifacial modules will increase around 9.85% compared to the monofacial modules. When the bifacial rates use the average TOPCon value, which is the 80%, the power generation of the bifacial modules will increase 10.8%, and our TaiyangNews modules can reach the maximum 85% bifacial rate. In this case, the power generation gains of the bifacial rate will reach the 11.48%. So as you can see, only from this characteristic of the bifacial rate, untapped modules can provide 2.03% gains in power generation compared to the P-tap. The last one is the performance in the low light. Since the untapped cells has the highest internal resistance and the longest more minority current lifetime, so the untapped module has the better performance in low light compared with the PERC modules. TOPCon modules can extend power generation time in the morning and evening by about 1 hour. And this table below showed is the actual power generation situation of the modules we have tested. It can be seen when the duration is below the 600 watt per square meters, the low light performance of the untapped module is much greater than the P-tap module. So according about the full advantage, untapped module can theoretically increase the power generation per watt by more than 3%. If we set this in the same area of the set, compared with the P-tap project set, the power of the power generation, untapped modules can enhance the amazing 8% or more. So above this is the characteristic of the TOPCon technology. For our company, we also have some advantage on the TOPCon. This is our developed record of the cells, and Jinko is the leading position in the TOPCon technology. And we already broken the world record 22 times, like I mentioned before, and broken the untapped cell and the module efficiency for the 14 times. We can see the highest efficiency of untapped module has reached 26.4%. This is the experimental efficiency, and for our mass production efficiency of the cell is also reached to the 25.5%. Theoretically speaking, the higher efficiency of the PERC cell is the 24.38%, from which we can see that the limit efficiency of the TOPCon cell is 28.7%, which is much higher than the PERC cell. It can be seen in the future, untapped modules will increase the P-tap, since it has the more cell efficiency and can create more power generation with in the same size. There are the few of our untapped modules in order to adapt different application scenario requirements. We have the published above the several untapped module. This is the 60 and the 54 pieces. The series can be applied to the commercial and industrial rooftop and household scenarios. And while for the 78 panels, this one can meet the high power requirement from the owners. And for the 72 pieces, the series is the model for the all scenario application. Currently, our main modules production base are located in 上饶江西、肥东安徽、尖山浙江 and Chuzhou Anhui. In order to meet growing requirement of the customer, we will provide the stable and high quality output. So in summary, the JinkoSolar has also has some leading in these three areas. The first one is the technology. Like I mentioned before, the higher cell efficiency of our TOPCon is the 26.4%. And in the end of these years, the efficiency of the mass production will also reach the 25.8%. The most intuitive performance is that one with the size of the modules, our TOPCon's module will increase around the 30 watt than the P-type modules. The second leading is in terms of the capacities. Not only with the 35 gigawatt cell already in production, but also with the 55 gigawatt of the untapped cell in production by end of the year. In addition, we will have a 56 gigawatt super integrated plant under construction. The third one is the global sales leaders. So in 2022, the global untapped shipment is 60 gigawatt, and Jinko shipment already reached the 10 gigawatt plus. While at the same time, in the years half of the 2023, untapped signed orders already reached to 27 gigawatt. And this year, we expect untapped production capacity share will increase to the 60%. So as far as the project is concerned, how many revenues do a module actually provide? We have to conduct an economy evaluation of the project using the PERC module solution as the benchmark to compare the economy improvement of the untapped solution for the same capacities of the project. Since the same position of the untapped modules can be above the 30 watt higher than the P-type module, it means we can use the least untapped module to meet capacity requirement of the project, which will reduce the cost of the both. Taking a 100 megawatt project in Shanxi as a case study, we bring the data from the original study report in our own financial modules. We can see that the cost of the whole structure, pile cost, installing cost, land cost, and labor cost all reduced. And overall, both the cost can be saved by 0.89 cents per watt. This is the reduction of the LCOE due to the efficiency of the untapped cell. So the previously mentioned advantage of the TOPCon technology can theoretically bring them more than the 3% increase in power generation with the same watt of the P-type modules. So in order to verify it, we also conduct a global TOPCon test with the several third parties, such as the TUV, SGS, and so on. So in the North, we conduct the research with the CPVT in Ningxia, using the tracker system as the application scenarios. Comparison groups are the Bifacial PERC and TOPCon modules. The climate in Ningxia is mainly characterized by the high temperature and dryness. And under such the condition, the average power generation gain of untapped module also reached 5.08%, which is very outstanding performance. And in Qingdao, the advantage of the untapped module is more excellent. We also use the Bifacial PERC and TOPCon as the compression group. Since the roof use the white plant, which is higher than which has the higher bifacial rate. It could utilize the untapped module advantage of the high bifacial rate. The power generation gain of the untapped modules is more significant during the snow days, as the front of the modules is covered by snow. Further leverage the high bifacial rate features, and the average power generation gain of the untapped modules can reach to the 12.77%. This is the data summary of the recent third-party test. Results shows that overall power generation gain of the untapped is increased by 3.68% to the 12.77%. And the third parties will select the representative location, such as the area with the high reflective, high temperature, and high in radiation to verify the performance of the modules. So these gains may much higher than the theoretical. And in the actual project, we also received some feedback from the owners. Again, of the untapped modules also can reach the 3.50% to the 6.91%, which is still higher than our production of the 3%. So we put the generation gain value into the financial mode. The 3% generation gains can bring us premiums of the 1.92 to 2.90 cents per watt. When you use average the 5% generation gain, the premium comes to the 3.60 to the 3.43 cents watt. We integrate the previous both the cost reduction and the gains of from the high power generation. TOPCon premiums can come to totally 2.81 cents per watt to 4.32 cents per watt. We can see that again from the untapped modules compared to the P-type module are very significant. So at the same time, we should notice that untapped modules has basically reached the upper limit. So in the future, with the continued breakthrough in the technology, the untapped module will further increase the gap between TOPCon and the PERC module. So the TOPCon will become the mainstream of the PV projects in the future. So today, that is all my shares for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Maple. To everyone in the audience, if there's questions, please ask them in the chat. We're running a little bit out of time. Otherwise, that was a long presentation.